We're going to do it live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to just a room with some people that did a show today. We decided to come back because we were bored. CeeDee Lamb signed an extension because why not? As soon as everybody was in their car, got home, CeeDee Lamb signed an extension. So this is an emergency pod of the DLLS Cowboys show. Jeff Kavanaugh, Joe Hoyt, Clarence Hill. If we panned out, you would see an empty fourth chair because emergency podcasts happen when they happen. Jesse Holly's in the car somewhere. He'll get here, and we'll talk about it. And emergency pods are brought to you by our friends at Indeed, where you can get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/AllCity. Just go to Indeed.com/AllCity right now. Support our show by saying you heard about it on this podcast. Indeed.com/AllCity. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Jerry, if Jerry had used Indeed, do you think they would have got this done faster?
Yeah, could have got it done in June when Justin Jefferson signed, huh?
Clarence, do you want to take this time to say who had it?
If Jerry would have used Indeed, would he have signed another GM? That's the question. That's what that's the question. No.
That's
no.
That's the hard-hitting question.
But, it's funny because I was talking earlier and the first show, I said, Jerry,
an hour ago,
the Cowboys have never not gotten the deal done, right?
Yeah.
Jerry said he's never thought about not signing CeeDee, right?
Yep.
Wrote earlier today, the Cowboys closed. They were confident, and they were moving closer to getting the deal done. As soon as we leave the show, voila, I get a text, it's done.
Yeah.
CeeDee's done. And as expected, and on time, if there is a time, was because the Browns game, I'm sorry.
God bless your heart and soul.
The Browns game is, less than 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
They had no wiggle room as far as time to get him signed, to get him ready to go to be able to play in that game.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we've talked about with Jerry Jones and just all these contract things over the last couple of years, they get the deals done, but it usually takes a deadline. And this was the deadline for CeeDee Lamb. I mean, you have to ramp him up. You got to make sure that he's ready to go for week 1 against Cleveland. That's just right around the corner. You got to worry about soft tissue injuries, which we talked about earlier. Now you can ramp him up. And the one thing the Cowboys have done, though I will say a lot, is that they've talked about how much confidence they have in the external work that him and Dak Prescott have done over the years. They believe that connection is going to be intact, even though they weren't in training camp together. But obviously, we'll see.
All I can think about is just how annoying Jerry is to me sometimes. And it's great. It's great for us. It's great for content. But, can either of you guys do, a Mike McCarthy impersonation? Otherwise, I'll do all 3 characters.
Do them because
Okay, because I feel like this is the way that this goes is Jerry knew however long ago you want to say, right? Jerry knew what it was going to cost to sign CeeDee Lamb. The market is what the market is. So,
well, they didn't know because technically they didn't know if CeeDee wanted to match or beat Justin Jefferson. They knew what the market was.
Yeah, they knew what the top was.
They knew the ballpark.
They knew what the top was.
They knew the ballpark.
But they didn't, because there was initial thought that he wanted to beat Justin Jefferson, or at least match Justin Jefferson.
Right.
He didn't quite do that, but he did get more signing bonus money. But so there's some wiggle room, and the devil's in the details. I understand we say we know what the money's going to be, but how you pay it out, there was a lot of discussion on, structure and years. That's all part of the discussion. That's part of, the negotiation, and you have to have a meeting on the minds on all of that as well. But to your point, Stephen told us before the camp, guys, we're going to get it done. Don't say that. We're going to get it done.
Right.
So Jerry, we're going to get it done. Yeah. Did they have to wait to the last minute? It does take 2 to tango.
It does.
It does take 2 to tango. And so CeeDee and his agent have to be amenable to what the Cowboys want to do as well.
I just think it's no different from last year, Zach Martin. Zach was like, I want more money. And Jerry was like, Zach ain't going to get no more money.
Well, some people
ain't got no more money. Until it was, Coach, when do you need Zach here? And he's like, at this date. He's like, cool, that's when I'll pay him.
Well, if you watch training camp, the offensive line got murdered every day.
Yeah.
That was part of it, too.
Yeah.
Jerry was holding to his guns. We've already paid Zach Martin. He's 30-something odd years old.
But he was not. He was not holding to his guns. He was saying what he was going to say until the day he was going to pay him.
But you don't know. Some people acquiesce. Some players, Tyron Smith, take the Jerry deal. They buy the Jerry spiel.
Yeah, but you knew that
You know
immediately.
what I'm saying?
Like, that was Jerry got to Tyron.
Yes, and he was hoping to get to Zach, or that Zach would, may again.
I bet Tyron
Deadlines
Matthew
make
hates it.
deals, but
I bet Tyron
deadlines
Matthew
make
hates it.
deals, but it's Jared's gonna always run out the ground ball. You might throw the ball away, okay? You might be like the Little League World Series.
Uh-huh.
He went on the fact that you bunted and threw the ball over the first baseman's head.
Yeah.
He's always gonna run out the ground ball, and hopefully, you blink. You blink. There's a lot of people who have blinked with Jerry.
I hate him and I love him.
But you often know now with Jerry that there's a track record that if you don't blink, he will eventually once the deadline comes, right?
If you're of a certain ilk, CeeDee is of that ilk, just like Zeke was of that ilk.
Dak should go home today. Be like, I ain't coming.
They're not getting the Dak deal done before the start of the season.
You don't think so?
No, so.
I think Dak's a psycho if he signs something after the season starts.
Why?
Because we're here now.
Doesn't matter.
You let me get here, and now I'm gonna put you over the barrel like I did last time.
I mean, over the barrel means it's like, as long as you come up to my money. When you come up to my money, why does it matter?
Because in
as long as
theory,
you meet my demands, when you do it, why does it matter?
Yeah, that deadline's
Because ultimately, I want to be here. Ultimately, I grew up a Cowboys fan. I want to be here. So why should it matter if I get it done in October rather than August?
because when we get to March, and then we realize which team has bad quarterbacks and didn't get a high draft pick, now the Cowboys want to give you 56, and somebody says, I'm going to give you 64.
Well, then they may give him 64. But the bottom line is,
Which is why you sign him now.
That's why the Cowboys should sign him.
Right.
Now. Yeah. But as long as the Cowboys come up to his number,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter when it is. I mean,
It does if
he
you want
would-
to win the Super Bowl this year.
and Dak's going to do whatever he can to win the Super Bowl this year. His contract is not going to impact.
No,
his
I don't
play.
mean Dak. I mean like the Cowboys. If they had signed Dak 3 months ago, which free agent you want? I can get you 2 of them. I can get you 3 of them.
Yeah,
I can get you whoever you want.
See, you're changing the goalpost of the conversation because the conversation was about getting it done before the start of the season and what he should do now.
Right.
It wasn't about what they should have done 3 months ago.
Yeah, but I mean,
But that's always the conversation.
no matter where the
Yeah.
goalpost is, the answer is you should do it now.
Yeah.
You should have done it then, and
Okay.
then, and then,
Okay,
then, and
but
then.
based on the fact that if they don't get it done before the start of the season, the idea that he shouldn't sign, to me, that's folly. I mean,
he can still sign.
He can sign whenever they give him his money. He's going to be happy getting his money. And just like last time he signed, it was free agency. It was 2 or 3 weeks before the start of free agency.
Yeah.
He signed a big deal, and he had free agency staring him in the face. Then
and one leg.
and the Cowboys paid him on one leg.
I know that's the best part. Like that's
And
how
he
you
has
know
not
that
missed-
he's going to
has
get
not
every
missed
dime.
a game with that leg since.
No,
So-
and that's how I know he's going to
You
get
also
every
got a
dime.
no franchise tag and a no trades.
But
Yeah,
getting
with
back
one
to
leg.
getting back to CD, and the importance of getting him done this week. They got a couple of days to ramp him up. Certainly the night practices they're not real practices. They have it, but you have a whole week next week. But you can get some conditioning done. He can get work done with Dak in the receiving core and the offense this week, and so he'll be ready to go. I don't know if he's a 60-play guy against Cleveland. I don't know if you want to do that.
Well, history would tell you they probably don't.
But he will be a factor.
Tell me
now,
the score.
and you can now
that's it.
game plan your offense. You got 2 weeks to game plan your offense, and you know what the other guys are doing, so he can be a factor,
Yeah.
and that's important.
Yeah, I think if you tell me the score, I'll tell you how many plays he plays.
The score of the game?
Yeah.
How would I know the score of the game?
I'm just
No,
saying
you
if the
said-
Cowboys are up by 13, then yeah, I bet CD's playing time is limited.
Oh, yeah.
If they're down by 3,
Yeah, you
I bet
gotta
CD
get him-
plays a lot of plays.
No doubt. But then also, I want to say that one thing I've liked about training camp is Dak Prescott. I talked about it last week. It was a practice show, so no one saw
no
it.
one heard it.
But Dak has done well moving the ball with the backup receivers. He spent the entire camp without CD. Spent the entire last week without Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
And they moved the ball
You think,
with Tolbert and some other guys. And so now you add, and Tolbert is really taking a step in practice. We'll see if it does in the game.
Yeah.
He's really taking a step in practice. He really had a strong camp against Bland.
Bland, yeah.
Playing against Bland. He had a strong camp against Bland. So he's ready to take that next step. Cavante Turpin has shown that he can be a weapon in how they use him. And he had some days against Jordan Lewis, and Jordan Lewis is a bulldog. And Cavante Turpin had some days. So that foursome right there, and we saw what you like with Flournoy, and certainly Draylen Brooks is a guy who, again, last week of the camp beat Diggs for a deep touchdown, made some plays on Diggs. He's big and fast, can get down the field. Now you add CeeDee back to that mix. It's a pretty good receiving core.
I think, though, we have to be cautious about just automatically adding CeeDee and Dak to hit the ground running like they did last year, because it took some time last year too. Remember, it was first 5
think that was more of a throw a fit at the
with
coach.
CeeDee Lamb. It was more about the coach.
Yeah, it was more of a throw a fit at the coach.
And now the coach knows how to use him and stuff. Like, same thing with Brandon Cooks. It took a while for Brandon Cooks to get acclimated and how
he
they
got
want
hurt
to
in week
use
2 too.
Right.
So,
It took a lot for them to get acclimated and ready to go. And then I left out Jake Ferguson, who's a big part of this passing attack. But CeeDee coming in, and you have to feel good about those other guys that now CeeDee come in. I think it's you have to feel better about the team heading into Cleveland, because to me Cleveland's a big game. This whole first part of the season is big for the Cowboys, and that's why getting CeeDee here and ready to go. Because understand, the Cowboys have Pittsburgh at Cleveland, at Pittsburgh, at San Francisco, Detroit, and Baltimore, all before October 13th.
Mm-hmm.
That's a heavy schedule. That's a tough slate of games, and they cannot let this season slip away. They need to be, certainly they want to be better at the end, but they need to be pretty good early too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough schedule. I mean, every time you mention week 1, I just immediately think about Tyler Guyton.
Yeah.
Oh, he's had a great camp. He's had a great camp. Here's
Welcome,
Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
You have yourself a good time.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's so... Like I feel like you can almost pick when these things are going to get done if you just hang out with Clarence at camp. Because like for the last 2 weeks, a couple different times you've mentioned, like it kind of needs to be this week.
Yeah.
And that was like, and today is, what day of the week is this? Monday.
So it feels like Tuesday now.
They waited an extra day or two.
Right.
But it was like, this is when it has to be before we start talking about he might not play week 1. Yeah. Like,
yeah, you got to get it
bingo.
ready to go. And that's what we asked. We suddenly talked to Mike McCarthy after the game Saturday night, when we technically weren't working yet.
Yeah.
But we were there.
Yep.
And I asked him about the urgency of getting them done with the season ready to start. He said, they're very urgent, and both sides wanted to get it done, and voila, here we are.
So
can I jump in?
Yeah, because I'm thinking about a Dak thing, but it doesn't matter because it's not going to matter when it is. Because like Dak, I think Dak will be here because I think that goes into the CeeDee thing.
Yeah.
I think that they do communicate. And like CeeDee ain't signing up to catch passes from Cooper Rush or Trey Lance a year from now. So the CeeDee deal does make me think that the Dak deal is
my big question, Joe, with the CeeDee Lamb thing, with every contract we've seen, it almost always feels like a movie we already have seen the ending to, and we're just going to have to build to get there, right? We knew that this was going to happen. Like they were always going to sign him. We also knew that it was going to be pretty much anything that CeeDee Lamb eventually probably would want. He wanted 4 years, he got it. Right, he wanted $136 million, right below Justin Jefferson. He got it. Obviously, things had to figure out a little bit of how we got there, and you had to set up the steps and go to it. But ultimately, we knew it was going to happen before the season, and then this was the final deadline in order to actually have him ready for week 1.
I would say this: the good news is CeeDee always, even though he was mad at the time, he always stayed in touch with his teammates. Michael talked about it, Dak talked about it.
I like when they jump on social media and take the team name out and change their picture.
That's the funny thing. Says like. What is that about? What is that about?
It's not the Brandon Ayuk situation.
I removed the Cowboys from my social media handles. What is that about?
I'm sending a message.
As soon as you get that, like I said, as soon as you get that message, they ain't mad no more.
Yeah, I know.
Okay? When Christmas comes, I don't care how mad your mom and daddy didn't give me this. As soon as Christmas comes, the presents on the tree, everybody's happy. CeeDee's happy now. Christmas is here. Christmas in August for CeeDee Lamb. I would say this, though, on the Dak deal. How can you sign CeeDee Lamb, invest the money you're investing in CeeDee Lamb, and not ensure you have a quarterback so you maximize your investment?
That's why, and I can't, like, when you tell me that they're not going to sign Dak before the season starts, I go, okay.
I didn't say they weren't going to sign him at all. I just said they meant they're not going to. Yeah, I just said they weren't going to sign him at all.
Because my gut reaction as soon as the CeeDee deal was done was, you got enough time now where they might spend a week and a half, 2 weeks seeing, can we get the Dak thing knocked out? Because signing CeeDee and then having fill in the blank throw to him and having no idea would be dumb. Because like you can say the receiver makes quarterback better, and they totally do. Great receivers make quarterbacks better. Great receivers don't make dudes who can't play good. You better know who's throwing to him.
Yeah, but the likelihood of CeeDee Lamb ever leaving after the 5th year was not, hey, it's Dak Prescott. It's not, that wasn't likely either, So I mean,
Yeah, again.
But even if this wasn't done,
for
it
all the
would've just been
people,
tag and
for all the people, and there's this crowd of, well, if Dak doesn't do it, then let's tear it down and start over. You don't tear it down and start over by guaranteeing CeeDee Lamb this kind of contract.
Yeah.
That's never been the Cowboys' mentality. It never would be. It never will be their mentality. Okay, they're not trying to be we're gonna tank for Tua type situation. That's not Jerry.
No, Jerry
MO,
can't tank.
And he's not gonna do that and just blow off 2025 when you got this kind of money invested in CD and most likely going to the next season, the richest contract, non-quarterback contract in NFL history invested in Michael Parsons.
Yeah.
You cannot invest those type of monies in those type of players and not make sure you have a quarterback on this team to maximize your success.
Are you guys excited about doing this again next year for Micah?
Oh, yeah. And then Deron Bland around the corner. If
Micah
he's
wants
healthy.
40. Cowboys are offering 22.
They're not signing Deron Bland.
Ever?
Ever?
Said you already paid one corner? Not going to pay another one? But if you pay the wrong, well, don't you just
but
do
that
this?
money, that also
Did you know
money
there's an audio format of this show too?
I'm just saying.
You can't just.
What about
is
the podcast
video?
listeners?
Well, what I'm saying is this.
There's players that are going to have to sign eventually.
They've got to sign for the players.
And we're going to do the dance all
But
over.
you've already paid Diggs, and you like the young guy. I mean, can you pay two cornerbacks that type of money while
Depends what team
paying
you
Dak and Micah and CD? Now, who do you prioritize? And I just think that when it gets to that point, if Bland wants Diggs money, then he may have to get it elsewhere.
Yeah, someone's going to be the odd person out eventually. But the point being is they're going to do this dance again. There's going to be a thing where, hey, Jerry's
Well, it's going to be Tyler Smith.
There's a Tyler Smith dance coming too. Yeah.
It's going to be Tyler Smith because he's the next beast.
He might be the best guard in football already.
Yeah. There's no question. He's the best guard on the team right now.
That was
He's the best guard on the team right now.
Look at the camera when you say it.
Best guard on the team right now.
You're not wrong. You just got to look.
We got ads.
Oh, do we? I didn't know that. Okay, my bad. Who? Oh, let me check my Slack. Listen, guys.
First emergency show,
It's
guys.
an emergency podcast.
If he checks his Slack, can I check my phone?
You can check your phone.
Clarence.
Scratch that itch. Get it done.
This is for
Since
work.
I got my wrist slapped earlier for checking my phone.
Guys, let's see what Katya has to say.
Since this is live, guys, we're doing this on the fly. So
Yeah, first emergency show.
Jeff normally has a nice little schedule for us.
Guys, I'm a train wreck. I'm looking at this. Okay, 15, 30, 45. Okay, but then you gave me the two right there. That's the ones that we need to do? Yeah, okay, well, let's talk about it. Let me find them.
Let's talk about it.
Excuse me, guys. Hey, Clarence, if you could keep it down for a second, there's something I really want to tell you about. As soon as I
was
slide
gonna say,
down
tell
and
us about
find it. No, I'm about to. In good time.
Don't tell us you're going to tell us about it. Tell us about it.
This anticipation's killing me.
The Sleeper app.
Oh.
So it's the app I've always used, and you may know it as like, oh, that's where I do my fantasy football is on the Sleeper app, and it's a great place for your fantasy football leagues for sure, or for any fantasy leagues or whatever. But now they're more than just that. You can put your knowledge to the test in any game. You can pick whether your favorite or your least favorite player is going to have more or less than their projected stats each week. So you college football, you're an NFL guy, like whatever sport it is that you like, you say, oh, I don't think that dude's going to do what they think he's going to do. Less than that. And then you say, oh, Dak, more. You go more than that. And you can pick a whole bunch of different things. And the more picks that you combine, the more you can win, all the way up to 100 times your money. If you think you got what it takes, download the Sleeper app. Use the code. Ours is DLLS Boys. DLLS Boys. And you can get up to a $100 match on that first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. I have to click back over to my Slack to see what the second one is. It's the one you like.
Oh, is it game time?
It's game time.
It's game time.
Joe loves game time.
I love game time.
Nothing makes Joe happier than game time.
It's game time right now.
It is game time. And so that's where we go. That's where we go get tickets.
Yeah, we get tickets at game time.
We do. We get all.
They got all in pricing.
Oh yeah. They filter out the fluff. They show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of different tickets. Curated deals make it easier to find the best price on great seats. You got seat views before you buy. And so Game Time is where we go for all our tickets. And you want to use the code DLLS on those ticket purchases, and that'll get you all squared away there. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, use the code DLLS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, Create an account and redeem code is DLLS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
It's game time.
It's game time.
Game time.
You have to add it with a who.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys
Game
do
time.
that. Okay. So anyway, I'll be honest. I didn't know that emergency pod meant like the whole deal, like an entire.
Yeah, we're doing it
I
live.
didn't know
It's
it meant
day
like
one.
a whole hour with an entire thing of things. I didn't know.
We're figuring it out.
I didn't know.
First day.
You know, I thought CD signs. You talk about CD signing, and then now what?
Now
What
we
are
talk
y'all
about
doing?
sleeper and then go back to CD.
What would you do with $100 million clearance?
Guaranteed.
You know, I learned a long time ago. I cover them. I can't live like them. You know, I cover them. I can't live. I can't even,
Did you try?
I can't even. I can't pull like them. Can't pull at the club like them. Tried that.
You tried that.
Tried that.
You tried it.
Can't pull like them.
How many times? You failed?
Well, you know,
Yeah.
my jumper good though. Anyway, I can't live like him. But I mean, I couldn't even imagine. You know, with this, I've tried the lottery and I've tried to dream of what I would do in the lottery. You know,
Yeah.
and I'm so old school. I'm thinking about, I don't know, college for my kids and being a parent. You know, house. You know. I
Those are
don't know.
drops in the bucket at $100 million.
Yeah, I mean, you know, all of this. I don't know what I would do with $100 million.
I would start a zoo.
A zoo?
Yeah.
They made a movie about it.
But it wouldn't be a good zoo. Like, nobody would want to come to my zoo because it would just be the random things that I want, and people wouldn't be welcome.
Hey,
at
you
my
know what
zoo.
I would do? I would start a digital podcast all over the country.
Okay. I would go local. I would just be here.
Just local.
Yeah, I would just stay here.
Well, I would start city by city.
Maybe start in Denver.
And then eventually get to Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's not a bad
Maybe
plan.
the fifth market, you know.
I would want an emu, a llama, and a capuchin.
What was that second one?
A llama?
A Yamaha?
Yeah.
No, you said emu.
No, emu,
Emu.
a llama.
Okay.
I think that both L's are silent, so it's not a llama, it's a llama. And then I would like a capuchin, and I would just kind of build them a nice little area to hang out. Baby giraffe,
Yeah, you got to get a baby giraffe.
because they look stupid and funny, and I think that would be great. And then I would buy a boat.
Sound like you're Michael Jackson. I'd be worried about you. So this is Michael Jackson vibes right there.
What
man.
about Michael Jackson? Where you? I don't understand what you're saying. All right, everybody send in your questions in the chat. That's
Michael
where
Jackson? But hey, great for CD. I mean, we knew this was coming though. Seriously.
Yeah.
And then after the year he had, leading the league in receptions, setting the franchise record in yards. You know, he's been building. When they picked him 20th overall, they already. You know, the funny thing is, remember when they had Amari Cooper?
Yeah.
Why do you need CD? Why do you need another receiver? That's not what you need.
Man, it'd be pretty cool to have Amari Cooper back.
You just paid him. Well,
Yeah.
you just paid
Amari Cooper revenge game on deck.
do you really need CD? And they talked about they did not go into that draft trying to get CD. You
Fell
know,
into
and
their lap.
You know, and he just catch a falling star, and now the falling star is rich.
Yeah, I mean, he's gotten better every year, too. I mean, like, that's one thing you want out of your first-round picks is constant progressiveness, high trajectory, and it was this last season with franchise records.
It is interesting because, like, what Clarence, what you were talking about when we're all out there at camp and watching, I feel like most years or every year, if Dak threw a pick, it was a big deal, and people would be like, "Oh, Dak threw a pick today," and it was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, today the defense, the offense couldn't." And this year it was just like dead silent.
Right.
Yeah.
Like there was no Dak talk.
Well,
Yeah.
because there was
Because
nobody to count.
even without CD, because no one was there.
Yeah.
Because even without CD there, it was like, hey, what happened in the team stuff? And it was like, oh, yeah, they went down the field pretty much every time. It's like, oh, what about the 2 minutes? Oh, they went down there and scored pretty much every time. They did that without CD. Yeah, they did that without CD. It just wasn't a thing because there
Yeah.
was nothing to even pretend. Like, oh, this offense is struggling. And I wonder if they would have got CD done. Once again, CeeDee Lamb, new contract, $34 million a year, 4 years. What is that, 136?
136. Yep.
136.
Or 134? Now my math is off.
What are y'all doing?
Well, we're doing
You
that.
got 34 mil a year.
Okay.
100 mil guarantee.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
136.
4 years.
Okay.
That's
136.
Grace, what are
Question
y'all
my
doing?
math.
Well, riders were not
Y'all,
math guys.
I was trying to figure out what you guys were doing. Y'all weren't on the same page with your math.
I was resetting the numbers.
Okay.
34 and 34 and 34 and 34. 136. And so CD got all his money, but now I got lost. I forgot where I was going.
Yeah.
Now what?
The one thing about the CeeDee Lamb deal, though, I'm telling you, like, if we're a month in and that connection is not on point, we are going to point back to, like, hey, why didn't they get this done earlier? Am I wrong?
Well, it's a process because I remember 2 weeks ago I wrote that they weren't even at 33 yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and now they finished at 34, which is kind of it's under 35, but it's a healthy.
No, but he's saying, like, if we get into 3 or 4 weeks of the season and Dak to CeeDee hasn't been super efficient,
not on
everybody's
point.
going to be like, well, see?
Yeah, that will be a conversation.
Are they
were,
winning
but-
or losing?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think that's part of the conversation. But I don't think
I mean,
one reason why Jerry claims they cut Amari Cooper was they're paying him the most money, and he wasn't getting the most balls. Okay, I think that it's understood, self-evident, and CeeDee was getting the most balls then. He's gotten the most balls since.
180
I don't
targets.
think there's any plan where CeeDee is not getting the great majority of the targets.
No, I know, but he might get targets, but the connection, what if the timing's off is what I'm saying. What if it's just, they didn't have that, rapport that they had last season.
Oh, I mean, the good news about CeeDee in this timing or Dak is that he plays in the slot. He moves around. They are going to do things to free him up to get in the ball. It's not like he's going to be outside. You have the timing of, because you have to have the step drops, and they're going to run this out, then you're going to run this deep in like Troy and Michael.
Yeah.
The things that they do with CeeDee, how they get him the ball, I don't think it's necessarily all based on timing.
Well, the whole offense is kind of based on timing, though.
Well, that first read, but I mean,
Yeah.
but the breakdown.
Last year, most of the offense was, and Dak runs up this way and then throws
A
to
CD somewhere down there.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
But
I'm just saying that
Yeah.
there will be things they'll do to get CeeDee ready. Yeah, certainly, when they're not here, and you have to think about all these things: timing, injuries, chemistry. Those are things that we have. Those are all things that you have to think about. What if, for
Yeah.
sure.
My point just being that the inevitability, we figured we'd get here eventually, right? We did. It took a long time to get here. I'm saying that if it first 4 weeks, kind of a struggle, we're going to be pointing back to, hey, why didn't you just do the inevitability earlier? That's all.
Yeah.
Of course, CeeDee won't pay for it. Jerry won't pay for it. Mike McCarthy will pay for it, and Dak will pay for it.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest
No,
about this.
yeah.
I mean,
No matter what happens, they're going to talk about Dak and Mike.
It's going to be Mike and Dak's
Yeah,
fault,
yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
It won't be Jerry's fault, and it won't be CeeDee's fault. It's going to be Mike and Dak's fault.
Yeah,
Let's be
Dak
honest
should have
about
pulled double duty, went out to Houston and worked with him.
it. So that's what it is. That's what it's always going to be right now around here until they do something in January.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure that everybody, we appreciate if you hit the little thumbs up while you're watching. Give us a little like button. Make sure that you're subscribed to @DLLS_sports on YouTube. And if you go back and listen later, of course, it's wherever you get your podcast. We got you covered. Today is our one-day discount for being a diehard at ALLDLLS.com. $12 off to be a diehard. That gets you a free shirt, discounts on merch, discounts on events, premium written content, all of the things. You can get that. So make sure that you're getting signed up. And we do have questions in the chat. How many wide receivers do they keep on the 53-man roster? Is it just 5? Like
I mean, I think that's
spent
potential, but I think
I have 6. Don't you?
I think it's
well, I
6.
think we spend a lot of time talking about the last guy at a position, and then a lot of times that position doesn't exist.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think if Ryan Flournoy is making the team, that's 6.
That's 6.
Flournoy or Brooks. Who you got? If it's 5
I
or
think
6.
Brooks is 5.
Well, if it's 5, yeah, then if you're going down to 5, you got to
Do
choose
you
between Brooks
cut
and Flournoy.
Flournoy over Brooks? I mean, I think Brooks should be 5.
I think Brooks should be 5 also. I also think the fun part about training camp is
Things change.
no matter
Oh.
who's so like their receiver depth chart, right? It's pretty clearly, I think, CeeDee, Cooks, Tolbert,
Yep.
Turpin,
Yep.
Brooks,
Yep.
fight. And Flournoy's at the top of the fight because
And
he's
Tyron
done
Billy's
well
out.
lately and he's a draft pick.
Yep.
And,
Tyron Billy's already cut.
He's
That's what
already
I'm saying.
cut.
He's already out. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think Flournoy, if there's 6, and if there's not, then it's Brooks is the end of your depth chart. It's just a matter of, are they going 6? Which I would guess yes. Because Flournoy, I don't think you want to do the waivers.
especially-
Well, let's be honest. They're going 6 because this is a pass offense.
Yeah.
This is not a run-oriented offense, right?
That's right.
Really?
They're keeping a running back
mean,
on
they
the
don't-
roster
I
to
mean,
block.
I'm joking. Yeah.
I'm just saying though, this
Yeah.
they like to throw the ball. This Dak Prescott is gonna, it's about him moving his team. Certainly with Mike McCarthy, and they probably need to keep 6 receivers.
Yeah.
The position group, this is not necessarily a CD conversation. The position group that I get the most, I don't know, about is tight end. Because I'm like, Ferg, great. Schoonmaker, okay, he can kind of do a little bit of both, but he's kind of hurt guy and not
Yeah.
real impressive. John Stevens is great when you're looking for a receiver, but he can't block a lick.
He actually, to be honest with you, impressed me as a blocker.
Last week,
Last week, not this past week.
not the hundreds of snaps we've seen, but
No.
like,
But then that's why, I mean, you talked about in the Paul out earlier, and I agree. I mean, that's why Brevin Spann-Ford is a pretty significant candidate to make this team. They might go 4 tight ends because of that.
Right. And again, Brevin is the guy that Schoonmaker is your quote-unquote traditional blocking tight end, but he can't stay healthy. I mean, there's a question about him staying healthy, and you can't – Brevin Spann-Ford is not going to reach the practice squad, I don't think.
No, I mean, they had a bidding war to get him initially. So I think if you put him on the open market and waivers, someone's claiming him.
Yeah, and what he does, he has such upside. He's only going to get better as a pass catcher, but what he does as a blocker and what he potentially has as a blocker, I don't think you can let that go.
No, and Mike McCarthy, even though passing offense, obviously Mike McCarthy still has roots of the blue collar.
Right.
Let's run the ball blocking. We need that kind of guy. So,
More questions from you guys if you're watching.
look at that.
Get up in the chat. We got a super chat. How much? Oh, thank God it wasn't the one you had up there, 'cause I didn't like that. Any chance CeeDee just didn't want to do camp? I mean, I would say no, but I do think that there is an element of that's why it happened when it happened. Is like they know that it doesn't matter if CeeDee's here for the
Well, I mean,
all
I
of
think
camp. It doesn't.
They said that the whole time.
That's what Jerry said the whole time.
Yeah,
He didn't need to be
We're
in camp.
fine.
Yeah.
You know, and
I don't
that's
want them
what-
practicing when
and
they're
that-
out there.
But that's why CeeDee got mad because Jerry said he didn't need to be here. It's not urgent for him to be here.
Yeah.
So I think CeeDee, again, as a young guy, I think he wanted to be. He likes to be with his teammates. You know, there's like Zeke, you're out there by yourself. Linval Joseph didn't want to be in camp.
No.
Okay.
But
He
he
didn't want-
doesn't need camp.
He
He
hasn't
didn't
been
want-
in camp for 3
Yeah,
straight years.
Exactly.
He doesn't know what
didn't-
camp's like
He was signing after camp regardless. They've been flirting with him since Mike Zimmer took over. He
Yeah.
wasn't coming to training camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that certainly CeeDee would have rather, if he had his druthers, he would have had gotten his money and been in camp.
Yeah, because it would mean that you had the peace of mind of we're done.
Yeah,
he
the
would-
deal's
I don't
done.
think this was not a situation where CeeDee was
No.
was trying to avoid
Right.
camp.
Yeah.
Now, and if he was trying to avoid camp because he liked outdoor excursions and having a good time, I would tell CeeDee Lamb to check out our friends at Rugged Road Outdoors.
Segue.
RuggedRoadOutdoors.com. Use the code DLLS for 10% off. What is Rugged Road? They're dedicated to creating innovative and durable outdoor gear for folks who need the best. The products are designed with the highest quality materials and craftsmanship, ensuring they perform in the toughest conditions. Whether you're on land or water, it's Rugged Road gear that's built to accompany you on every adventure. I'm a guy who sees the coolers that people like bring to my house, and I've always owned generic bad cooler. And I was tired of that game because I just get so jealous. I'm like, look at your really cool cooler. And so you get you a Rugged Road one, and now you're talking about going on a river trip. Bam, that sucker will float with you. It doesn't even have to be in a float. It can do it on its own. Just going down there, having yourself a time. That's what you're doing. Unlike other heavy-duty coolers, Rugged Road coolers are incredibly light, makes them easy to transport without compromising on performance. Gear up for your next adventure with our buddies at Rugged Road Coolers. Reliable, durable, built to be used. Your ultimate outdoor companion. Head to RuggedRoadOutdoors.com and use code DLLS for 10% off. And the one other thing that we want to remind you about is that this is a one-day deal. This is launch day for
Launch day?
ALLCITY Dallas for DLLS. It's our launch day, and we want you to become a diehard. Get a free shirt. Look how cool that merch is. Look, you got Skyline one. You got all the different. I probably legally shouldn't say what those letters look like they might be associated with. It's just DLLS in really different
I like
designs.
the Skyline
and
one.
colors.
I'm gonna cop that one.
You gonna get that one?
Mr. DFW, you going to cop that one?
Cop that one.
Today only, you get $12 off to become a diehard. You get a $12 discount. So get on over to alldlls.com and get yourself signed up to be a diehard, and then you will have access to all of the incredible written content, to all of the merch discounts, event discounts, all of the things. We want you to be a diehard. We want you to be with us. A lot of running back questions. Is Royce Freeman running back one by week 6? Are
One?
you comfortable with
Is he
Zeke?
on the
Royce Freeman?
team?
Yeah.
He's not even on the team at this point.
Who's better, Royce or Zeke?
Zeke? I'm not gonna do this with you.
I was just asking.
Let's do it.
No, I was just asking.
It's Zeke.
I
Stop
just
it.
wanted to know what you
Now,
thought.
What do you think?
I wanted to know your opinion.
Yeah,
That's what I think.
Not gonna do.
I kind of want to know your opinion.
I think they're kind of the same guy. They're both washed up guys that can run between the tackles and go, "Yay, I'm here."
They're washed up guys who both can run between the tackle.
Zeke's
One
probably
has a
better pass protector.
One has a better track record,
With who?
certainly with the team.
Not with the last 12 months.
With
Who was a better player last year?
One has a better track
Royce had a
record.
better yards per carry.
One has a better track record with the end zone.
Yeah, he did score a touch. I mean, his conversion rate on and short was lower than ever before,
I'm
but
just
he
talking
did
about-
get to score because they gave him the ball all the time in on the
Because
line.
yeah.
he has a track record to get in the end zone. He has a nose for the end zone. That's something this team sorely missed last year.
Yeah, red zone
Needed
issues.
last year.
Yeah.
1 yard line issues. You can talk about the 1 yard line all you want to. Tony Pollard did not get in from the one against Miami,
See, I was just
which
in the
was the
Miami
difference
one.
in that game.
You talking about the one where he went, wee?
He defied
for no
physics
reason?
on that one.
Okay?
Yeah.
Get in from the one. Then the next play, Hunter Luepke fumbles the ball. You think it's easy. You think those short touchdowns you can take them for granted. You can't assume a double play, and certainly you couldn't assume getting in from the 1 yard line with the Cowboys last year. Zeke helps fill that problem, fill that need. I think
That's what I've been saying.
really. But the good
been
news
preaching.
is he don't cost a lot. We're not gonna argue about $1 million or $3 million on Zeke. They still need juice. They still need juice
They
from
need
somewhere
juice.
else.
I could have Jonathan
Sorry.
Hankins for less than $3 million.
Yeah.
That's all. I'm just trying to build my best team. That's all.
Is
That's
Hankins better than Joseph?
Is
Hankins
yeah, oh
better
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Hankins was just a good player.
Oh, he was on the field against Green Bay.
Okay, well then everybody on this defense
Well,
sucks.
I know that, but I'm just
And
saying
they should
though,
all be cut forever.
We're not going down the hill over Jonathan Hankins, though. I mean,
I'm not
Yeah,
trying
we're-
to die
we're-
on the hill.
I
I'm
was gonna
trying
say,
to
we're in the
say,
weeds now talking
if you're
about this.
giving me $3 million to find a player, I can find one that can help my team. That's all. That's all.
I mean, the best running back they got is Rico.
is who?
Rico.
Yeah, by far.
Oh, Rico.
Yeah.
By far.
Currently,
Here's
yes.
The question and the thing
The
about
second best runner is
and-
Deuce.
And the question is, can Rico stay healthy, which he hasn't been able to do.
Not once.
throughout his
Well,
career.
last year he did. Last year was his best year of being healthy.
It was his best year,
Yeah.
but he was not healthy the whole season.
No.
And we love Deuce, but Deuce has not been able. We don't know how they're going to use Deuce. You don't know what kind of package you got for Deuce. My question is, there are a lot of running backs that are being cut. Do you go get one? Do you go get
I've
one?
talked bad about Zeke enough for one day and for a week and for months, but the reason that I don't think you do is because Zeke exists on this team and was gifted a job, and they're not going to take it from
Yeah,
him.
they're not going to cut.
Like, there's
Zeke.
not going to be a guy on the streets that runs the ball better than Rico Dowdle, probably. There will be lots of guys that run it better than Zeke, but they've already committed that
There
Zeke's
may be
on the
guys that
team.
run it better than Deuce and do more than Deuce and do those special team things that Deuce can't do.
Yeah, I guess if you want to bring in a guy that you think upgrades running back 3,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm open to that. If you say it's just going to be Rico, Zeke, and then we're not done.
Well, that's part of the conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, everything is on the table, and so, I think Deuce is a fan favorite. Certainly, he has some juice, But again, it's still a mystery on how you use him, when you can use him, and what can he do outside of running the football.
And that was the problem last year with him. He made the team for a reason. They just couldn't find packages for him.
Yeah,
the game never called for the Deuce Vaughn package.
And initially, they went into training camp looking to had him at slot receiver, and we're going to do some other things,
And then he
trying
got
to
hurt.
find a way to get him on the field. He got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And so we haven't seen that package in games at all. Maybe they can develop that during the season if he makes a team. But, all of that's, on the table. I just think that, again, it's like at cornerback, let's wait the final cuts to see what the Cowboys eventually do, because they do a lot of business at the final cuts.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks for joining us for the CeeDee Lamb Emergency Podcast. We appreciate it. I've got a couple super chats. I want to knock those out now.
Okay.
Rock Drums here. Y'all hot like me about them protecting Zeke? Nope, I love Zeke, and I hope he gets the ball a lot. I think he's incredible. Walker Wade, why does this team not value game-changing free agents? That's a whole nother segment for a whole nother day.
Brandon Carr is young man. Brandon Carr, blame
It was 1976.
my homeboy Brandon Carr.
1976.
Yep.
Thank you, Pat McAfee, for shouting out Clarence.
Brandon Carr, blame Brandon Carr.
And we want to shout out Katya, who you
Yep.
can't see because she's hidden back there.
What's up, Cat?
But she keeps this thing running and is the reason that I'm not going to get fired as soon as we're done. So thanks to Katya for keeping it online. We're the DLLS Cowboy Show. Make sure that you're following because you deserve this sort of coverage about all of your local sports teams. Remember, you have no idea what anyone's going through. So be cool to everyone. We love you. Be easy. Go CeeDee.
We all silly like the mayor.